Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the financial jungle and sometimes uncover a few hidden treasures, or maybe just some really interesting paperwork. Today we are diving into a filing that might seem a bit dry at first, but has some surprising details about a company making some interesting share moves. So what are we looking at here? This is a report from ASPAC, the third Acquisition Corp, and it is telling us about some important changes happening with their shares. Think of it like a company reshuffling its ownership deck. The main story here is about a share exchange. Essentially, the company got some Class B ordinary shares from something called the sponsor, which is like a key backer of the company, and in return, they issued them Class A ordinary shares. This happened on the 16th of January 2026. Now this is where it gets interesting. These new class of shares that were given out, they have the same rules attached to them as the old Class B shares did. This means things like they can only be sold under certain conditions and the sponsor has to vote in a specific way for any big company deal. It is like saying the new hand of cards still has the same limitations as the old one. After all this shuffling, the company now has a lot more class of shares out there. We are talking about over 2.3 million class of shares now compared to a much smaller number before. The Class B shares are almost all gone with only 100 left. This really concentrates the ownership of the company in the hands of the sponsor for now. And that brings us to the big number. The sponsor now controls a massive 76.4% of the company's class of shares. That is a huge chunk of control. This deal itself did not need to be registered with the authorities under a specific rule, which is a common practice for these kinds of exchanges between a company and its early backers. So what does this all mean for ASPAC the Third Acquisition Corp? Well, this report is not giving us a deep dive into their profits or losses like a typical earnings report. Instead, it is a more procedural document explaining a change in their share structure. This kind of move often happens when a company is getting ready for a significant event like merging with another business or going public in a different way. The fact that the sponsor is increasing its stake and holding on to shares with restrictions might signal their strong belief in the company's future plans. However, it is also important to note that this concentration of ownership means the sponsor has a lot of influence over the company's direction. We will have to keep an eye on their future filings to see what big moves they have planned. This is the kind of behind-the-scenes business happening that can set the stage for major developments. Alright, that is our breakdown of this ASPAC Third Acquisition Corp filing. What is your take on these share exchanges and what they might signal for the company's future performance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.